All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we are going to be talking about Amen Thompson. How good is he? Is he actually worth the hype? Is he as good as people say he is? What does he actually do when he's on the floor? He's not your typical NBA player who's able to just kind of catch and shoot nowadays. He's not able to really shoot threes, doesn't really have a mid-range. What does he provide to this Houston Rockets team? We're going to be talking about. And honestly, there's going to be a lot of pros. There's going to be a couple of cons I talk about his game. And to be honest with you, they're big cons. They're things that he needs to fix. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any means, but if he fixes those things, this guy can, he can be scary. Let's talk about his stats. He is averaging 12.6 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists per game, and 55 field goal percentage. If you're going to talk about Amen Thompson, his defense is a top 10 defensive rating in the league. Now, if you see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander here at 1, and you think, damn, he's the best defender in the league, Shai's not guarding the other team's best defender more often than not. Amen Thompson is guarding the other team's best, wing kind of player, or forward. He can guard forwards as well, depending on the size of the forward. But with that being said, Amen Thompson is at 105.6. The lower the defensive rating, the better. The higher, the worse. League average is about at 110. So if you're at 105, you are in elite territory. But that is Amen Thompson's highlight conversation. If you're going to bring him up, you have to talk about his defense. So let's take a look at some film, talk about his defense, and we'll also talk about his offense. And all in all, just his game, what he can improve, what he brings, and honestly, some of his biggest weaknesses so far. Okay, for your guys' convenience, I have removed my face, and we are going to be looking at film. First play here, we have Amen Thompson attacking the basket. Pretty straightforward stuff. Right now, what I want to cover, let's build a foundation. Let's talk about this guy's athleticism. When you talk about Amen Thompson and his defense, he's able to do so because of his athleticism, his speed, his ability to have good instincts and be able to read the ball really well. Now, on the offensive side, that translates again with his athleticism and being able to attack the basket. So right here, attacking the basket, going up, going around Brandon Clark, good pass. That's a solid play. Pass wasn't on the dot. That's one thing he can improve on, is more so his accuracy of his passes. But this is all athleticism right here. This is him being able to have good instincts and good basketball IQ for the game. Go up. There's two defenders on you. Pretty straightforward. You have Desmond Bane coming out to cover Dylan Brooks. That would leave the center man, Jalen Green, ready to go, ready for the ball. Again, accuracy isn't perfect. It's not a shooter's preferred spot, but it is a good pass nonetheless, and it is a highlight play. But that is Amen Thompson, athleticism, speed. We're building that foundation. Again, we got to talk about this guy's athleticism. It's just the hot topic with Amen Thompson. The same way you talk about Steph Curry and his three-point shot, the same way you talk about Wembanyama and his length and his ability to do all kinds of alien-like things. Amen Thompson is just a freak athlete. This guy is truly, truly insane. Watch this play right here as he's guarding John Morant, top of the key. If you look very closely, his stance is not great. This dude is so raw and is so all about talent. This stance is not great, but he's so fast that he can recover off of anything. And he reacts very quickly when Ja attacks right here. So let's watch this one more time. Ja attacks the basket. Notice how he tightens up a bit. He's like, okay, Ja's definitely attacking. So right here, if Ja was a good shooter, Ja would shoot this ball. This right here is not good defense. Again, look at his footwork, not great. But as Ja gets closer to his hot zone, Amen tightens up. Focusing. Okay, now he's on Ja. Ja attacks, puts the shoulder into him. Amen reaches, not a foul. But Ja does create space here, right? This right here is space. That is space. Easily enough for Ja to say, all right, I'm going up with this. This is clear-cut space, clear-cut advantage for Ja. Amen is just a freak athlete, and boom. That is just... He's just a better athlete. There's just nothing else other than that. Again, in terms of technique, definitely not tight enough. Got more as the play went on. This is just so much raw talent. A reach, again. If this was LeBron James, if this was Giannis Antetokounmpo, if this was anyone with any sort of length and size on him, they're dunking on him. Like, this is a poster. But because Ja lays it up, floats it up, Amen's able to react quickly. So the whole point of this is I'm trying to show you is his athleticism is insane. But if he doesn't lock in on these little things and get his technique right, he can be exploited in these kind of plays. And we're going to be seeing that more and more as you go on, where we see, okay, well, he could be doing this better, but he does rely on his athleticism. He could be doing that better, but he does rely on his athleticism. He is a very, very, very raw player, and he's only in his second year. But again, he's this good while being this raw of a player. That is the roof, the ceiling of this guy's talent is pretty freaking high. Okay, we got a fast-paced transition right here. Van Vliet's going to swing it out to Amen. Amen's going. He's in his stride, and there's just not a lot of people who are going to be able to stop this guy one-on-one going at the rim. He's just too much of a freak athlete, and he's fast. This dude can zoom. Easy finish for Amen there. Looking at this play, I really want to talk about the strength of Amen playing with the unit that he's playing with, because to be honest with you, this isn't going to fly for most teams. Keyword here is most. We have 4 players on the perimeter right now because Steven Adams did set a screen. So Van Vliet's going to attack this player right here. Aldama, I believe is his last name. Van Vliet attacks. Boom, boom, boom. Brandon Clark has to come out and help. The ideal spot for most NBA teams, for example, if you're the Boston Celtics, this isn't really going to work all too great because everyone plays in the perimeter. But Amen Thompson just can't shoot the 3 ball. He is 25% on the season, which is, it's dreadful. Not good at all. And it's just, again, it's not going to fly on a team like the Boston Celtics. By design, the Houston Rockets have him kind of chill in this area right here. So if this ever happens where a player has to come out and give help side, whether you're Jalen Green or Fred VanVleet or even Alperen Sengun, you know Amen's coming right here, ready for that cut to the basket, easy finish. And that's exactly what happens here. Easy cut to the basket, easy finish. That would not fly for a lot of teams because, again, they want the 3 ball. And you could make the argument, well, why wouldn't it fly for the Celtics? Why wouldn't they want someone cut into the basket like that? The Celtics prioritize the 3-point ball. It's the way they play. They're really good at it. Obviously, their record shows that a lot. Second thing, let's say you put this guy in the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers, of course, would love Amen Thompson, but the way that they play with Isaiah Mobley and Jared Allen, they already do this. So adding that, let's say, to the starting lineup would really not, it would be really messy. It would be a really, really messy thing because, again, he cannot shoot the ball. So Isaiah Mobley does this with Jared Allen. They work with each other in this area. You can't really add him to it. It would just clog things up. But it works perfect, and I mean perfect for the Rockets because they play a more traditional style of, okay, you got your 3 guards, right? You have your true center, and Amen is more of a 4 in this kind of lineup where he can go in and attack this area. So it works great for the Houston Rockets. They would love to have it. They do love to have it, and great finish here. Boom. Okay, so we got a defensive highlight right here. Number 0 passes by Steven Adams. Steven Adams out on the perimeter. Quick blow by. Fred VanVleet comes and helps. And look at Amen with the late reaction. But again, this dude's just a freak athlete. Number 0 is already up in the air, ready to shoot it. Amen is just, dude, he's just a freak athlete. You cannot amount that to anything other than that. If number 0 doesn't double clutch it, Amen doesn't get it. But Amen gets it, and that is just unreal. And then the play goes on. I talked about it a bit earlier. I did talk about this a bit earlier. Passing, he's definitely aware where his teammates are, but where he puts the ball can be improved. This can be an improvement. Look where he puts the ball. Has to slow Jalen Green down. If Jalen Green gets that in rhythm, he can attack. He doesn't. But Jalen Green, being the player he is, he's able to back out and shoot the ball anyway. But that has got to be a pass on the dot right here. Right here, it's got to be a pass on the dot. He just does put it behind him. In this video, the point of this video, if you cannot tell, I do want to talk about the progress of him. I do want to talk about the things he's not doing well. I do want to talk about the things that he can improve on, because him being this good with all those things going against him, I said it earlier, but it just really shows the potential of him. It really does. You know, I don't want to get on every video and just glaze every player every single time. You know, when that Shea video came out and I did that was great. I had fun. But not everybody's a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Not everyone is MVP kind of status. This guy's a second player who's still learning. These are the things he needs to improve on top of obviously talking about the things we have already established that he is really good on. So this is the reality of having no shooting ability for Amen Thompson. And this is how the Houston Rockets take great advantage of it. Again, they have their big man right here. This is the guy. This is their big man. Your traditional big man. You got your three other players that are able to kind of shoot the ball from any range, pass it out to Steven Adams. And remember I said where this is Amen's zone? Yes, it is. You're not going to see Amen right here unless you're specifically doing it just to spread out. But this is Amen's zone. Jaren has to play defense. That's an easy pass. That's an easy finish. That is Amen's spot right here. This is his zone. This is his area. This is where a lot of his free points are going to come from. Those easy cuts to the basket and a nice finish. Okay, so here we are. Remember I said we just want to spread it out. Amen's here now. This is literally just to spread out the defense. Look how much space Jaren's going to continue to give him. He's not worried about that shot. But as the play goes, watch Amen. Look what he does. This is what he does. That's his thing. He's going to attack here. And the ball goes loose. Ball goes loose. He's still there. Like, that is his sweet spot. You will see Amen Thompson living on this side of the court. If you're a defense, you have to be aware of it. You just have to be. Okay, moving on to a different game. We are going to continue to explore Amen Thompson highlights and continue to talk about things that he does. And I have said it. This is the third time I'm mentioning this. Dude, if you're the opposing team, watch this side of the court. Look what happens. First offensive possession of the game. I mean, dude, we've been over it. We've talked about it. It's the same thing. We know what's gonna come. This guy needs a bag. He doesn't have a bag. Nowhere near the likes of Kyrie, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry. Doesn't have a bag. If you put a Giannis kind of elbow shot on him, if you gave him maybe a decent 33% 3-point shot, and again, these aren't great things. These are things that I guarantee you at some point in his career he will add. You give this guy a handle though, a freaking handle. Oh man, it can get messy. It can get messy because you give a guy of his talent a handle to be able to attack in these moments. This is not sweet. It loses it there, just goes up. Just not a whole lot other than him just jumping higher and finishing at a higher peak than LeBron does there. I mean, you give this guy a handle with his speed. I mean, God, I am scared for the league if this guy gets a freaking handle. Because you talk about speed, the likes of John Wall, where this guy just zooms. Athleticism, the likes of John Wall, this guy just zooms. But honestly, I think he's even more of a freak athlete. This guy's even more of a physical specimen. It's going to be scary. It's going to be scary. Okay, so right here, he's literally attacking Rui. You can see the amount of space Rui gives him. They know he's not a shooter. And that's the part where I'm talking about where, like, it's just pivotal that he gets some sort of jumper, because if this is a good defender, Rui's not getting cooked when he's already 3 feet back, and Amen's not really going to be able to get in. And even though Rui's not really a good defender, in all honesty, Amen still gets a tough shot. He beats him off the step, even though, again, he's 3 feet behind. I don't know how Rui gets beat when you're already 3 feet behind. But okay, Amen does beat him with a simple crossover. This is nothing special. This is all, I'm just fast. I'm literally just fast. And then he jumps over him because he's a freaking athlete. Rui, some sort of a contest right here. Not bad. That's a tough shot. That's a tough shot for someone who already beat him off the dribble. It's because he doesn't have a handle. He doesn't have that finesse that a lot of these other players have, like Shea, where you can kind of just jump stop, turn around, shoot. He's lacking those things. He's lacking those things. But in all of that, still finds a way, recovers his rebound, goes and finishes it. I'm not questioning the heart of this player. I'm not questioning the talent of this player. Honestly, I'm not even questioning, if he's good or not. The only question I have is, how good do you want to be? Do you want to be a superstar? Develop a J. Doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a great 3-point shooter. You don't even have to be a good 3-point shooter. Just be okay. Give 33%, just to where you're enough of a threat to, if you're wide open, you can knock them down more often than not. And then the mid-range has got to be something. This has to be your zone. Instead of just the paint being your zone, do what Giannis did. Get that mid-range elbow. Get that shot. You do that. With the development of your handle and all in all, just your IQ and understanding of the game, my question is not, is this guy any good? That's not my question. Boils down to, how good does he want to be? Defensively, you're already really good. I think he can tighten up more on his technique. And again, that's just getting low, getting ready, something that he's just got to do. Right now, he's very reliant on his just natural ability alone, but he's still really good even in all of that. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this guy continue to develop. It's not a question of how good is he at this point, honestly. Like, how good does he want to be? If you're a Houston Rockets fan, how good does he want to be? We already know, again, he has, if he stops developing here, he has a place in the league with his defense alone. But again, not every team's the Houston Rockets, where they're allowing that clog up in the paint for someone who's just not a 5 or a 4, a true 4, I should say, because he does clog up the paint. Again, I showed you, he's only out there, in the 3-point line just to spread it out, but he's going to move inside. We already showed you his favorite spot on the court. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. This guy can be crazy. He can be crazy good. He has the best foundation possible in that he can finish. He is fast as hell. He can jump super freaking high. His defense is really, really good because of his ability to really guard a lot of different players and move around. It just boils down to, can you develop a jumper, a little bit of finesse going to slow things down a little bit when you're in those fast breaks, and get a little bag, get a handle. Now, I know those things I mentioned, is something that really a lot of players carry, but you can teach that. You know what I mean? You can't teach speed. You can't teach athleticism. You can't teach the stuff that are the best part of his game. You can't teach what he has. The rest of the stuff you can. So I think he can be insane. Anyway, appreciate you guys for watching. As always, this is We've Been Different. We've been different. And we out.